Hello, it is Monday. Welcome to a new weekly reading vlog. I've just woken up from a nap, like a solid hour and a half nap, and I am feeling rough. I've not quite woken up properly yet. And I'm now getting really warm. As you can see, I was leaning on this section of my hair because this is nice and smooth and this is all messed up. Oh well, it'll sort itself out. Yeah, it is a new weekly reading vlog, and I think the first book to tackle in this is going to be The Woman by Chris and Hannah. I read, I don't know what it is, but like I've read enough romance at this point that I want something a little less whimsical. So I want something a bit more like serious and not so whimsical. So we're going to start The Woman. This is now the longest book on my monthly TBR. I don't know if it's the longest book on my TBR. It is 464 pages. The writing is fairly small on the page. So it's going to be a decent read lengthwise. And I'm really excited to get into this. This is my second Chris and Hannah book. Yep, only my second. I've been scared to pick up another Chris and Hannah book after The Nightingale absolutely ruined me. Not because I think it's going to ruin me, but because you know how sometimes you get an author where you read a book and it's so perfect and then none of their other books can live up to it. I didn't want that to happen. But it's been long enough now, I've seen enough reviews talking about this book that I feel like this is a good jumping off point to go into more Chris and Hannah. This is about the Vietnam War and the women that were like army nurses that went out to Vietnam. So that should be interesting. I know pretty much nothing about the Vietnam War, except it was like jungle, and American, like older American men talk about it a lot. That is literally all I know. All I know. So this should be an interesting read because I have no basis for it. Hello, it is later on Monday. I have read 88 pages of The Woman by Chris and Hannah. I've also sprained my wrist. I put my fist down to like push myself up to get off my chair, which is quite deep, and it just totally gave underneath my weight. So yeah, it is. I don't think it's swelling. It's just really sore. It doesn't look, I can't, do you know the body parts where it's like, is this normal? And you're like, I don't know, I don't look at it normally. I don't take into consideration what it looks like. But yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on that. I'm going to go put a splint on it. I've put some Voltarol on it already. But yeah, me and Hamish are going to bed. He's been waiting on me very patiently, haven't you? Very patiently. Yes, you have. Oh, he was staring at me, but now he's just... Oh, he's such a good boy. See the silver on the back of his ears? Oh. He doesn't have a silver muzzle, but like he's going great behind his ears. It used to be like pitch black, and now he's got grey on his ears. Oh, my little boy. He's got grey on his chest as well, but he won't let you see that from here. He's just like back on the get to bed, mum. Right, we're going to bed. I'll see you later. Not hurt my wrist. I just slapped my hand down when you were thinking about it. Fun. No, it is Wednesday. You may have been expecting me to say it is Tuesday. You would be wrong because I forgot to vlog yesterday. Yeah, the whole day yesterday I basically I went to work, I came home, I put on Grey's, and I watched several episodes of Grey's. Regrets. Oh, I've forgotten to say my biotin again. Yeah, I have regrets. In the shape of watching Grey's because it got to a cliffhanger and ended up going to bed really late. And then, well, it wasn't even really late. It was like midnight. But then I slept like hell, so I didn't actually get to sleep very well. But now I've still got like a season and a half to go, or well, The 23rd season is currently ongoing, so I've got 13 episodes of that, and still, I don't know how many episodes, like a few episodes. I worked out it was like 15 hours and 45 minutes left of Grace to watch. But today is the 11th of March, and that means that one of my all-time favourite book series, which has been made into a TV series by Prime, Amazon Prime, is now on Prime to watch. Today is the release day, and that is the Scarpetta novels by Patricia Cornwell. So the TV show is called Scarpetta. It is starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Nicole Kidman, and they are playing the opposite characters that I thought they would be playing, because Jamie Lee Curtis is playing Dorothy, who is Scarpetta's sister, and Nicole Kidman is playing Kay Scarpetta. Now, it's not that I don't think they can play the roles well. Those are two women who can play pretty much any role they want at this stage of the game. They have more than you can see where I napped earlier, where I was leaning against the couch. Anyway, sorry. They have more than proven their mettle in several roles. That is not my problem. I don't have a problem. I was just surprised. When you have a mental image or something and then it's not, and you're like, oh, okay. Because the thing with Kay Scarpetta is that she's basically a self-insert of Patricia Cornwell, and there's always comments made about how she's more like a man. She's more manly. So like she's got a really square jaw, short hair, like just has a more masculine energy because she's in a job that's like mostly like it's a men's male dominated field. Could not think of the word there. Whereas Dorothy is like pretty and more shallow and wants to, and is like more concerned about how she looks. And I just think that Jamie Lee Curtis looks like she plays a more masculine female than Nicole Kidman. But again, this is only seeing them for like, and even then, like Dorothy's got short hair and Kay's got long hair. It's just not how I imagined it, because if you see Patricia Cornwell, she's always got quite short hair, and Jamie Lee Curtis always has short hair. I think my brain just like, I think they'll be excellent in their roles. And it looks like they're doing the books themselves. The first book was released in 1990, and we have just had, I don't even know what number we're on now, but like late 20s, early 30s at this point, because she did take a break for a few years. But I think what's happened, because Lucy in this is older, because Lucy in the books, in book 1 is 10. So you see Lucy grow up. Lucy's Dorothy's daughter and Kay's niece. And I think in this it looks like they're doing a back and forth. So let's go harken back to a case that Kay and Pete Marino is the sort of cop sidekick to Kay Scarpetta, and harken back to a case they had, and then looking like, so there's now, and then there's 28 years in the past, I believe, is how they're doing it. So they're like, rather than starting it from postmortem, to be fair, it's been a long time since I read postmortem, but like they're not following it like book by book. They're not following it book by book and doing it like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they've done it, and I'm very excited. We also, me and Kay, are going to see Project Hail Mary on Saturday, and I'm just getting more and more excited for that. But yeah, I'm going to go watch Scarpetta, or at least the first episode of Scarpetta, because they did release the entire series. I have also gotten up to page 98 of The Woman. I'm really enjoying it. The fact that I'm reading it, that I've not gotten to more pages, is nothing to do with the book. It is more to do with the fact that I got caught up in Grey's. I usually watch one episode with my dinner, and I told myself, I'll just watch one more episode, because I wasn't finished eating by the time the episode finished. And then something dramatic happened, and I had to watch the next one and the next one, and it just got a wee bit out of hand. So yeah, gonna go into this. Hopefully I don't end up watching the entire series. But I'm very excited because I've loved Kay Scarpetta's, what do you mean about ads on Prime? That is ridiculous. I've loved Kay Scarpetta's, I loved Patricia Cornwell's Kay Scarpetta series for a long time. Obviously, the first one was released in 1990. I was only born in 1992. I got the first book from my mum. Like, this is a really special series to me because it's the only series I have that I'm happy to have odd copies of. So they're along with what you'll have seen that I showed them in my last vlog, or one of my last vlogs, and all the copies, they're all different editions. Like, there's a few different editions in there, and it's because I read, I think it was Book of the Dead I read, and that's a fair couple of books in. My friend had it, loaned it to me because I was interested in going to uni to do forensics or pathology or something like that. I think it was along the lines of, like, my brain was going along the lines of Ducky from NCIS. I always loved NCIS, CSI, the one with Dr. Reed, with the FBI, BAU, and I can't remember what it's called now, Criminal Minds. Like, I've always loved that sort of show, and I love science. Like, you know, I now have a forensics degree, and that's because of this series. So my friend loaned me the book, and I read it, and I loved it. And I really, really enjoyed the character of Kay Scarpetta because part of the thing I love about it is the titles always hark to what's in the book. So Book of the Dead is actually what she calls this ledger she has in the pathology office. And it tracks all the bodies that come in and go out, all their details, of obviously all the dead bodies that have come in and out of the morgue. And she has such respect for, like, Kay Scarpetta has such respect for the people she takes care of. And I love the way that it was written because Patricia Cornwell herself was a forensic scientist. And then whenever she's been doing other things, so, like, for example, she's not a fire person. So when she wrote, what was the fire one called? I can't remember what it was called. Hamish keeps trying to get into the kitchen while Kay's cooking. When she wrote the one that had to do with fire, for example, she went and worked with a fire investigator to get their side of it. She talks to other forensic scientists to get their idea on, like, to get their expertise on what she's doing, what she's writing in her books. Hell, because I'm all tangled, because Lucy, the niece, because she flies helicopters, Patricia Cornwell went and learned how to fly a helicopter. Like, she went, because she does, Scarpetta has to go during port mortuary. For that, she has to dive to retrieve a body. She went and learned how to dive. Got a diving certificates and stuff like that. Even the dog, like, Lucy has a bulldog. Scarpetta has a bulldog. Like, she really keeps it tight to her life. And it's funny because I can see, like, she says that Pete Marino is like an amalgamation of police officers she's known throughout her life. And his character arc is so interesting because back in, like, the early books, he's like a smoking, drinking, eating junk food, overweight man from Jersey with a chip on his shoulder, who has, like, issues with anybody who's gay or, like, he's such a stereotype. Again, he's an amalgamation of people who she knew that were like that back then. His growth through the series to who he is now. Is he perfect? No. But he has improved, and he is trying to improve throughout the series as a person. Yeah, I really love that. And Lucy, actually, it's quite funny because Lucy, who's the niece, is, I think, modelled after Patricia Cornwell's wife, because she looks like her in the books, like, she's ginger, which is, you know, a main identifying feature, of course. I don't even know who's playing. I recognise the guy. There's a guy from The Mentalist that's playing, I can't remember his name. He's an FBI agent. He's basically like one of the BAU guys, like, he's an early BAU guys. Benton Wesley. Oh my god. Fenton. Yeah, Benton Wesley. He has been played by the guy who's in The Mentalist, which I think is a very good casting choice. Like I said, Jamie Lee Curtis and Nicole Kidman are going to smash it. I just know they are. They're excellent actresses. I've never seen the woman playing Lucy. I recognise the guy playing Pete, but I can't remember what else he's in. But based on the recognition, my brain thinks he's going to be good at it. So I'm very excited about this. I do need to shut up and actually go watch it though. So just a quick update on the Scarpetta TV show. That's me just finished episode 1, and it looks like they are very much going from one of the more recent books, and they are using flashbacks, because the two cases are linked together. So it's like one of Kay's first cases when she became the chief medical examiner of Virginia. It's either the same guy or a copycat, and they're doing it like, and this is in the books. This is actually in the books. They're doing it so that they don't have to like go from 1990 onwards. Or I think the books are actually set in the 80s. Like the first book's actually set in the 80s. I'm not into. I need to reread them at some point, but I've got way too much to reread right now. But yeah, so it's going back to the original case and then matching it with this one. And like I said, that does happen in the book. So you've got the book where they find this guy, and see when they're saying names of the characters, I'm like, oh my god, like harkening back to like the characters that I know. But I know it sounds stupid. But like Fruge is a newer character because she's in the newer versions, like the newer books, because she's a young police officer. There's a member of the staff, and they talk about, I can't remember his name now because it's just I forgot what his name is, but like I knew exactly who he was the minute, like I remember his name, and obviously, you know, because I've read the books. But it's so exciting seeing something I love on the screen, and it's definitely not a like for like. I shouldn't have done this like this. I should have just put my phone down. It's not a like for like it's not following exactly like the books. The books are far too in depth for that. I think like the science in it is very, very in depth, and the way it's been done is really picking the kind of, not the best, but that's not what necessarily I mean, because I love it all, but it's definitely been adapted very well, I think. Comparatively to the books, I think it's been done well, and it is very reminiscent of Dexter, of the True Blood books. It's down south, it's in Virginia. It's got that same feeling. Like I can feel I want to say swampiness, but that's not what I mean, but like, because Virginia is obviously somewhere where it gets, like it's down in the south, so it gets hot, and it gets like humid, and there's just a feel to things set in the south. Or that I feel like, I say with Dexter and with True Blood, like it's very reminiscent of the settings for those, because they're in, I think they're both in Louisiana, just different places. I have not watched Dexter since it was before it finished, so, because I didn't finish Dexter, I only got so far. I need to rewatch Dexter. Last time I watched Dexter was in uni, and I finished uni like 10 years ago. Anyway, so yeah, I'm enjoying myself, and I'm going to watch episode 2 now. Hello, it is Friday, finally, and as you can hear, I'm making myself a cup of tea. I turned the camera because I realised that's very creepy, but it is just in fact Hamish's. There's Hamish. It is just in fact Hamish's stuff. So I'll show you here. Like, so you have this little home is where someone wants to get you. I was trying to read that backwards in the camera, and there's like his collar, or one of his collars. I'm not going to touch anything because when you touch it, it comes running. His lead, or one of his leads, is harness, a full rain like bodysuit, and then a raincoat and a like warmer raincoat. So that's what the shadow is in the background. That is case jacket hanging up. So yes, there's no creepy creepy man standing in my hallway. It is just my, what's it called? It's just Hamish's little area. He's wondering who I'm talking to again. Here he is, the man himself. Look what he's done. I fixed that. And he's messed up again. He likes to do that. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, Pia's Christmas present is also still out there, just sitting staring at me. At this point I'll be giving her at her wedding. I'm just making myself a cup of tea, because I've just finished my dinner, and for some reason I've got like a Pavlovian response. Like I eat food, and then I need to have a cup of tea. Ooh. You know, I had you balanced, and then I knocked you with the sugar, and that's just gone to hell. So, what humour. So I just watched an interview, or a video, with a little bit of an interview about Project Hail Mary. So it's a physicist named Dr. Becky Smethurst. If you've been here a little while, you may have seen me read 2 of her books. So one is A Brief History of Black Holes. I'm going to turn you a little bit more actually. There we go. One is A Brief History of Black Holes, and the other is 10 Things You Need to Know About Space, I want to say. I can't remember. But yeah, so I like watching Becky's videos anyway, just because I'm really interested in astrophysics, even though I don't quite understand it all. But yeah, she was invited to interview Ryan Gosling and Andy Weir and the director and producer of Project Hail Mary, which is really, really cool. Now, I find it really funny because she posted a clip earlier where Ryan Gosling was very intimidated to be being interviewed by her, because obviously he's like the celebrity, and like he's the like the guy playing Ryland Grace. Stupid glasses. She's an actual astrophysicist, so he's like, I feel underqualified for this. So they were discussing things like that in the video, and I thought it was hilarious watching him just be like, he's a total deer in headlights. It was really funny. But yes, tomorrow me and Kate are going to see Project Hail Mary at one of the advanced screenings, which I'm so excited about. I think I've said already, one of the Odeon Luxes near us is doing a screening. Sorry, that movement was a lot. So we're going to go, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Project Hail Mary. I've had it in my diary, like the regular screening date, for ages, since I found out the date. And everybody that's seen it has been saying it's amazing. I was like, I've never seen anything with Ryan Gosling in it. I've not even seen the Barbie movie. I've never seen anything with Ryan Gosling in it. I sat and went through his entire IMDb, and I've never seen a single film that he's been in. This will be my first Ryan Gosling movie. So I was not convinced about him playing Ryland at first. But I am more than willing to give him a chance, especially since I love Project Hail Mary, and I'm so excited. And again, it's considering how well he did The Martian, I have faith. Like, would I have put Matt Damon as Mark? Probably not, but I think they did a great job, and he did a great job, so I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting the process, and I'm very, very excited. Tomorrow at 4 PM, I get to see Project Hail Mary, and I'm so excited. Reading-wise, I have not finished The Woman. I got to page, last night, 282. So I'm a good way through. I was only going to read 2 more chapters, and then I kept reading, and then I saw, I can't do that. I'm basically on I'm a professional. I'm on part 2. So I've about to start part 2, which is a good place to stop. It's split into 2 parts, and I'm being a little delulu about things that are happening or may not happen, or like, I don't trust certain things unless I've got like absolute proof. So I'm being a little delulu about this, but I'm really excited for this transition to where they're going now. And I hope to get it finished tonight, but I don't necessarily see that happening. And I still have all these books to read. So that's the Book of Blood and Roses, Heartstrings, The Magician's Land, Old Flames and New Fortunes, Catch Her If You Can, Red Queen, Love at First Night, and Now Back to You, and then The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert. I'm very impressed with myself there for doing that. But yeah, I'm going to finish watching this video. Oh, I'll also put Becky's video, Dr. Becky's video, down in the description for you to go have a watch, because it's very interesting. This will probably be out far long after Project Hail Mary is, so if Ed and Andy can get her ass up, and get editing done, that would be great, and maybe you can see this sooner. Hello, it is Saturday and we are at the Odeon Lux in Dundee to see Project Hail Mary. I've just parked in front of the Domino's because there's a Domino's here apparently. So yeah, I'm very excited. I've never been to an Odeon Lux before. The last thing I saw in the cinema was Captain Marvel?
If you're asking me, I don't know.
You weren't there. Last thing I saw, no, that's a lie, I saw 6, but that was at Cineworld. So yeah, this will be an exciting experience, and I'm so excited to see Project Hail Mary. I'm sorry, that I just turned my head and there's a car over there that has literally got duct tape for a window.
I can confirm.
There's the window in question, just so you know I'm not talking shit. Hello, you've got me in the kitchen again, making a cup of tea. Me and Kate are just not long back from seeing Project Hail Mary. It was really good. I'm really impressed with what they did. There's a few things, there's like a couple of big chunks that are missing, in my opinion. And like, I understand why, because if they'd added them it would have been like another hour long. They've kind of condensed things, as they do in movies. I really enjoyed it. There was like, Kay was asking me questions afterwards, we were talking about it, and I was like explaining the bits that they left out. And not as a criticism, like I would have liked to see them, but I understand why they had to adapt it for film. And then Kay was asking questions where she felt there was like gaps in her knowledge. She was like, this doesn't make sense, like why is they doing this, blah blah. Not necessarily like one of them was how long it takes, like how long, I'm not going to spoil it actually, I don't know how much to say or not say, but like she was asking questions about like things, and she was like confused, and I was like, relativity, time dilation, woo. She's like, okay. Because they don't really go into the science as much as he does in the book, which is not difficult because he really goes into the science in the book. Like, he explains, well, it's not, in the book I don't think, he doesn't really explain it to you in like, he's explaining it to you, like it's Ryland thinking about it in his head, like the thought process that's going on as he's trying to work something out. So like, different parts of the science are in his head. And if you've read Andy Weir, you know he goes heavy with the science. But that's really hard to do in a film, I think. Especially, it was already 2.5 hours-ish for the film. And yeah, like I said, if they'd added in everything I would have added in, it would probably have been another hour long. So yeah, I see what they've done. I really enjoyed it though. This is my first, as I said, this is my first Ryan Gosling movie, and I really, really enjoyed it. At no point was I like, oh, that's Ryan Gosling playing a part. Like, to me, he was Ryland Grace the whole time. I was like, yep, that's Ryland Grace, and I applaud him for that, because there's so many actors where it's like, oh yeah, that's that actor playing that part. And I think there's so many actors that are so good at what they do, and they just embody the role so well that you see them as that character and not as the person, like themselves. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the way they did it. And yeah, like I said, there's definitely some things I wish they'd put in it, but it's fine. If we get an edit, like, see if we get like a Lord of the Rings style director's cut where there's like an hour more, I'm there. But I now do want to reread I want to reread the book now, and I still need to read I still need to read my TBR as it is. I worked it out, and I need to read 180 pages per day to hit my goal of my TBR. So that's not bad. 180 pages per day isn't too bad, and there's probably a few days I can knock out a bit more than that, hopefully, to kind of whittle it down, but we shall see. Anyway, I'm going to go sit down and get into my jammies, got a cup of tea, and just decompress a wee bit from being out. Hello. This is a new angle. This has finally been emptied, so I don't feel as awkward staring at a fish tank. Yeah, I started Love at First Night. And I am DNFing at 100 pages in. It's like 300 and 374 pages. And I'm DNFing at 100 pages in. 100 pages in, I feel like the action is a romance, like, not like I don't mean fantasy, action type thing. Yeah, I feel like nothing's really happened. I have no concept of any of the characters. I frankly don't care about any of the characters. I have no investment. I'm sitting here, like, really quickly skim reading at this point, just to get through it, and just, like, falling asleep trying to read it. So, yeah, which is a shame, because I really loved her first book. But I think the difference is, the first book was based on her actual experience. So Megan Clausen actually lived in the Tower of London. Her dad's a yeoman warder, and hence why they lived there. And the first book was about a woman who lived in the Tower of London with her dad, who was a yeoman warder. And it was really interesting. I really liked the characters. I was really invested from the get-go. But this one, I just don't care. So I think I'm going to DNF this, which is a real shame. I really thought I was going to enjoy this. But yeah, it's basically about this girl whose family are really big into LARPing. Like, her name is Daisy, and her brother's name is Samwise. They're literally named after characters from Lord of the Rings. So, I'm pretty sure her sisters, is it Marigold? I don't know if she's... Anyway, yeah, her family are all into LARPing. And basically, she's got really bad anxiety and has never left even their village, their town, whatever. And her twin brother, Sam, wants to move out. Her little sister is about to leave to go to uni, and she's kind of like freaking out a little bit when her brother finds this job for her, or finds this job that he thinks she would be perfect at, where she would go down to London to participate in teaching night school, so like KNI GHT school, so like teaching, it's like, I think it was like up like 6 to 13-year-olds or something like that. Like LARPing skills, like how to fight and like chivalry, and they make their own little coat of arms and stuff like that. And so she's like, absolutely not, never mention it again, don't even talk about me leaving town. And he's like, okay, sorry. But her dad signed her up for it anyway, and so she ends up going, meeting this, she room share or flat shares with this really eccentric student. See, this is the biggest problem I have. So I had to really adjust at first reading the book, because at the start of the book I was imagining that Daisy was like 16, 17. I knew conceptually that it was an adult romance book, but I was like reading her as like 16, 17. And like she was saying about her younger sister, and I'm like, oh yeah, she must be 13. No. Her sister is 17, about to turn 18. She is 24. 23, 24. And I was just getting teenager for her and her brother. Like, to the point where it was just kind of cringy. And then the roommate, who's also a student about the same age, I'm just getting like crazy old lady. Like, very the character that Carrie Hope Fletcher wrote into her Ballet Shoes retelling, the Gran, or Great Aunt Marge Gam, that's who she reminded me of, and she's meant to be like 22, 23. And then we've got this other, like, the characters were just given, they were all over the place. I can't, not to say I'm not saying it's bad, it's just not for me. I'm not connecting with it, so yeah, I'm going to DNF that. I don't know what to read next. I think I might reach Catch Her If You Can, because, can we just zoop, there we go, Catch Her If You Can, which is Tessa Bailey's new book, and one I've been really excited for. I am struggling though, because having my hands even just up like that, holding the book, the blood's all draining. I think my blood pressure's too low. The blood keeps draining out my arms, and my arms are getting that weird, horrible, crampy, numb feeling, because there's not enough fluid, I assume. So I need to hydrate more. People keep messaging me on Messenger. I'm having a great day today. I am in a lot of pain. I am having a struggle bus. I've lost my... There's bookmark. I'm just not having a good day at all. So yeah, I think I will just maybe have a go at this one. I can get this for 99p on Kindle, and I'm tempted to do so that I can hold my Kindle, which is a lot easier for me than holding the book. But we shall see, because now I feel really nauseous. Hello, it is later on Sunday, and I've been reading Catch If You Can by Tessa Bailey. I'm now 16, or about to start chapter 16, so I'm on page 124, which is 41% in according to my Kindle. Yeah, that tracks. Yes, I did download the Kindle version, because I think I said earlier, like, having my hands up to hold the book is like my blood straining out of my arms and making them go like that horrible numb, crampy sort of way. So at least with this I can like lean it against my leg, and I don't need to use my hands until I need to like change the page. You can probably hear the washing machine and tumble dryer because somebody decided to open the door again. He went to do it and I told him no, and he came back and he waited like 5 minutes, got up and did it again, and I was like, oh, he must need a drink or something. So he gets up, so it goes through, please ignore my hair, it pushes through and just starts sniffing the washing that I've separated. That's all he wanted to do, and so I told him off and he comes back through again. So now the door's open to the kitchen and I can hear the tumble dryer in the washing machine, because apparently he's just been a dick right now. And yeah, I had literally just sat down after changing the washing over, going upstairs, getting stuff from upstairs, because I forgot until now that I need to wash all my stuff for next week for work, because I only have 2 pairs of work trousers, which is, well, of my like baggy was I can wear leggings as well, like I wear leggings under my dress and stuff, so but the work trousers that I like to wear I only have 2 pairs of, so I really need to wash them. But yeah, this idiot here forgot about that. But thankfully it's only like 8 o'clock, so. But yeah, wait till I do all of that and I finally sit down. I'm in pain. I am so sore, same thing, Andy. I'm exhausted. I do not feel good. And he's like, let me just push the door open. So you have to listen to it as well. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading this. I don't think I'll be able to finish it, but I'm slightly hopeful. I will hopefully pop it back in and update you later. Hello. It is the end of Sunday night. I'm about to go to bed, but I just wanted to say I finished Catch If You Can, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked the characters. I really liked the way the situation was handled. If you're not one to like a third act breakup, this is a good one for you. There's no breakup or miscommunication. It is very much like an outside conflict that peaks up, and is like makes sense as to how they react. Please excuse my cockatiel hair going on right now. I've just put my hair back to do my skincare, and my moisturiser is drying on my face. I always see before I go to bed, if I'm getting up to shower tomorrow morning because I've a dressing change tomorrow morning, I always put so much moisturiser on my face and then it just like seep into my skin. So yeah. But yes, I really enjoyed this. I don't understand. I still don't understand the edges. It's like someone went, we need edges, let's make it kitschy. It's like fishnets almost. I don't know, which makes sense because she owns a burlesque club, which is really cool. Yeah, overall, I really liked this. I liked the story. I liked the characters. Had that Tessa Bailey thing in it. Yeah, so I'm glad I got this read. I don't know what I'm going to pick up next. I suppose you'll find out in the next video. So if you don't want to leave a big long comment, if you just leave me some kind of baseball related or burlesque dancer related emojis in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.